Welcome back to the Cricket Smart podcast brought to you by WACA Media. Today we have on WACA cricket player Liam Haskett.
Yes, and our good friend. We talk about a whole bunch of really good stuff. We talk about cricket as a full-time job, what that entails, staying durable and healthy as a fast bowler that's bowling constantly in the 130 kilometers per hour region.
What it's like being a young sports player in modern sport.
Yep.
But really well spoken, like very well spoken. Really enjoyed this one. It was a great ep.
We're giving him feedback now, so when he watches this, hopefully he watches it.
Little smile on the face.
You can see, a little smile for him.
But
positive reinforcement. But great episode. We go a little bit into some technical cricket stuff, not so much technical cricket stuff, but we talk a lot about cricket. So if there is any cricket nuffies out there, you'll like this podcast. But also there's some cricket as a metaphor for life because, you'll see in the episode. But
let's get into it.
Episode for everyone.
Liam, Lask, Haskett, thank you for being here.
Thank you, boys. Appreciate being
Thanks,
on.
Lask.
Gianni, thank you.
Been a long time coming.
Been a long time coming, but somehow short notice at the same time. So
the Gianni effect.
we really, we really appreciate your company today.
No, thank you. I appreciate it.
It's always great to have a big, strong unit on the podcast, to join us two big, strong units. Just a few big, strong units, just having a chat. So,
We'll get straight into rapid fire questions.
yeah, rapid fire questions for you. So, first one, speaking of big, strong units, how tall are you? You have to be honest.
6'6", 200 centimeters.
200, just on 200?
Yeah, just 200. Yeah,
Is that like
literally of a week ago.
Universal? Oh, really?
You're still growing.
Yeah. I broke my finger like 2 months, well, not a bit further, 3 months ago, and the growth plates were still open. So I think I've got a bit left, unfortunately. So
Unfortunately.
it gets to a point where you keep hitting your head on like the roof of your house or the or the doorway arches, rather.
Is that serious?
Yeah.
Well, how old are you now? 22?
22, yeah. So another year, probably max.
Favourite WACA player, teammate?
Ooh,
Matt Kelly.
Matt Kelly.
Just an absolute, genuine, great bloke. And that's all you really need, I guess, on the cricket field. A good bloke makes a long day a lot shorter.
I know you've taken some big polls, and we've discussed this at the football club and stuff like that. But who's your favourite wicket you've ever taken? Could be from school cricket. Could be from when you ripped scotch for like, I don't know how many wickets did you and the other guy take that day?
We bowled you guys out for 38.
Yeah, that one. Or it could be from the last year of WACA cricket. Or
I reckon.
Don't be modest.
Getting Marnus was nice.
yeah.
But the last game of the season, Matt Short, who played for the Strikers and One Day Cricket for Australia, just in the context of the game, it was the last innings and they needed to win. We needed to win to get a home final at the WACA to get a Shield home final, which obviously we won. And he was the best player in the team and he could really take the game away from us. And I managed to get him out LBW, which basically was the biggest wicket, I guess, in the innings. And getting him out was basically just
Won the game.
Not won the game, but a massive, massive step towards getting the win, which was nice. So in terms of the context, that's why it's my favourite wicket because it probably meant the most. So
Unreal.
Who's your favourite teammate you've ever played AFL with?
Question, Campbell.
Favorite ever. Gianni's probably Gianni. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Because Gianni just has this weird knack of every time he sees me, he just laughs. Like
He's
he just
just
starts,
there.
you just look at him now. He's just like, you just can't stop smiling.
Oh, yeah.
And
He's
then
just there.
He's just there. I mean, he just overthinks everything, which makes me laugh. And
Shots fired.
Just in footy as well. Just
Absolutely.
everything as well. Yeah.
But again, if you want to have a bloody good time on the footy field and come away with a smile and laugh and whatever, Gianni's the man. So I have to say Gianni.
When is your IPL contract coming, and will you finally buy me a beer when you get it?
No IPL contract coming. Hopefully in a few years' time that changes.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. And I have definitely bought you many beers.
Have you?
Yes,
Okay.
you've just been too drunk to remember.
Oh, okay. Fair. But they're giving
But
them out like, yeah.
I will continue to buy you beers.
Thank you.
If you ask.
And vice versa.
Correct.
So for the audience that doesn't know, Liam is a WACA cricket player, so the West Australian Cricket Association player.
Yep, contracted with them. Yeah.
What does that actually mean for the casual cricket supporter?
Yeah, so basically, I have a very grateful opportunity to be a worker at WA Cricket and play as a professional cricketer. I train pretty much season round between basically June to March. And obviously the season's probably from September to March. We have a big preseason, obviously. And yeah, so basically I get paid to play cricket for WA if selected. If not, we train during the week. And if you don't get selected, you'll play Premier Cricket in Perth. So for me, that's Claremont Netherlands Cricket Club. And yeah, it's a pretty unreal job, to say the least. And fortunately for me, I had a pretty good year and got to go travel a lot over east and play in different states and cities. So it was my first year, and I got one more year on my contract. So hopefully I can put the step foot forward and get a few more years out of it, which is the goal, to be honest.
And it's it's a credit to you as well, because it's such a competitive team. First of all, like, it's the third year in a row they've done the triple double. They said it was like a triple double.
3 Shields, 3 Marsh Cups in a row.
Treble.
And also the Scorchers won 2, not this year.
They got the finals this year, but they won it the year before.
Yeah. So
twice in a row. So we're aiming for the treble, whatever you want to call
holy
it.
cow. So there's like a period of WA cricket dominance, and also within that, it's a serious fast bowling lineup. So to get a gig in that, kudos to you, I guess.
There's no doubt though, my opportunity came because of others' injuries, and fortunately, I was able to stay healthy pretty much most of the season. And whilst I did get that opportunity, I did enough to keep my spot. That wasn't every game of the season, but you know, if you told me I'd play 6 Shield games and 2 one-day games in my first year, I would have told you you're bluffing, if you know what I mean. So, again, it's kind of how it works, but injuries are unfortunately the stepping stone for someone's opportunity. One goes in, another comes in to play if someone goes out. And if he does a bloody good job, there's no real reason why he's going to go out for that person to come back in once he's injury free. So it's
Very
a bit
cutthroat.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's where it's hard. If you're in that sort of area of you're kind of on the borderline on the fence and you can't really nudge in, or if your opportunity comes and you just don't quite
grasp it,
then it's tricky. So
far out.
Yeah, that's where it is.
But it's that next man up mentality. It's like the classic story of that is the Tom Brady story where Bledsoe, who was the quarterback for the New England Patriots, got injured this one game and Brady went in and Bledsoe never saw the field again, basically, for New England. Like, I don't know. And Brady went on to win six rings. So I think it's just that mentality. It was probably the coach at the time, Belichick, just kind of pushing that. I don't know.
That was driven into me early. Team first, next in, as you say, that next in mentality. I'm very, very sure that that's the main reason why we've had so much success over the last few years, for sure.
You get lots of good advice. Like, is it great to learn off these guys?
100%.
You've got some serious, you're playing with like Cameron Green, Mitch Marsh, who else?
Ashton
I'm
Agar.
trying to think. Ashton Agar, these guys who've had ridiculous international experience.
Yeah, that's it. It's
just awesome.
Their experience is, how I learn off them. And the great thing is it's just so easy to go up to them and ask them, people would probably think that someone of like a Cam Green's stature or Ashton Agar or Mitch Marsh, going up to them would be ridiculous and asking him these simple questions like, oh, what do you do on the day of day one of a Shield game to prepare yourself? I actually asked him like what would be an ideal breakfast.
Yep.
To I don't know, feel perfectly prepared for day one.
What did he say? The big bison, he'd have
eggs,
a bit to eat.
Yeah, eggs.
Yep. Walk along the beach.
Couple coffees.
Everyone sees him down at Cotton's top.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just everyone's so open and willing to ask questions and answer them back. So
Yeah.
that makes life nice and easy.
So whilst it's cutthroat when it comes to opportunity, it doesn't necessarily feel like you got that team environment. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. And that's the way you want it to be. Like coming into that sort of environment was definitely made my life easier. So
Great.
hopefully I can do the same if someone asks me or something like that. So no, I was very lucky for sure.
Yeah.
Well, different sports have different sort of cultures around it. What would you say the biggest difference between footy to cricket culture is?
There's no doubt, obviously, the duration of the game is a massive difference, and therefore the way people interact is different. It's interesting, like being a part of the Scorchers and seeing the lads train and getting ready for a game. The difference between, the arousal of getting ready just before they go out for a T20 game versus Shield game is night and day. Obviously, T20s, I can put it in a footy context because obviously the crowd, the adrenaline rush, and obviously it's 20 overs and it happens bloody quickly. You're out there for maybe an hour and 15, hour and 30 max, and you've got a time limit as well. So you have to get your overs in within that time limit, which I think is 90 minutes. So there's that external pressure and time pressure, whereas Shield cricket is 4 days, and it's a long 4 days and a lot happens. So you can't really get too high and you can't get too low. It's very constant.
Yeah.
So I guess it's that arousal level, and you're always just pretty chill with everyone in Shield cricket. You probably don't get as much interaction with your teammates in a T20 game just because it happens so quickly and there's so much going on. Obviously, Shield cricket, 4 days, day before, lunch, tea. There's a lot of times and breaks in play. So, I mean, that time of collaboration is a little bit more, I guess.
So before you jumped into Shield, you at max played 3-day cricket. Is that or 2-day cricket usually?
Played 2 4-day cricket games, second 11 games for WA. That's all and otherwise it's just Premier cricket, which is at most 2 days.
So what's the preparation like? I know you've kind of spoke to it then, but also, I don't know, how do you get up for that 4th day if you're bloody sore? You've just been out for the last 3 days. You got to get up.
I don't think there's a secret recipe to it. It's it's just you're gonna be sore. I remember when I got my cap, Joel Paris presented it to me and said, "Enjoy being sore," and just left it at that. So I was like, right, okay. So I think I know what I'm getting into. And sure enough, we bowled that first day, and the second day I was bloody sore. But you just got to find a way to get up and go again. But the physios and doctors at the WACA, they do a massive, massive job getting us up to go. And there's a lot of painkillers that are taken during a game for sure. So, I mean, you're going to be sore as a bowler, that's for sure. It's just a matter of fronting up and going again sort of thing.
It just shows the psychological side if a team can bat for a day and a half to 2 days.
That's right. If we can, there were a few instances this year where we had a chance when we were batting to really put a team, and we say it a lot, we can grind them into the dirt.
Yep.
So we can keep them out there for 130 overs, let's say, which is a day and a bit. And obviously here in Perth in the summer, it gets pretty bloody hot. Yeah. So if we can cook them mentally and physically out there and make their bowlers just literally resent coming back for another spell, then that's just a little, like you say, psychological advance, like little benefit we might get in a cricket game, which I guess people, obviously you don't see it in a 1 day or T20 game, but in a longer format game, it's definitely a tactic if the opportunity arises.
So do you prefer playing the longer games, or you like the shorter ones as a fast bowler?
Well, I haven't had the opportunity yet in a Big Bash game, even though I was contracted. I didn't get an opportunity because, like you say, the bowling attack's just quality for the Scorchers. And
so good.
Yeah, so just learning off them, even though I didn't play, it was just a great experience. But obviously you want to play in front of the big crowds, and cricket these days, it seems to be going towards a massive T20 expansion globally. And that's where the money's at, and that's where the fans are. So, you want to play in front of the most people you want, because that's obviously what you want to do. It's your dream. And then on the other hand, I think my game is quite well suited to a red ball condition in terms of longevity, long overs, but also there's just less scoring pressure, if you know what I mean. The batsmen aren't coming at you as hard. You can kind of manipulate plans a little bit easier as a bowler, especially if a batsman's not coming straight down at you, trying to honk you over square leg for 6 into the crowd every time at Optus or something. So I think my game's probably Red Bull suited at the moment, but if I wanted to play in an environment where there was a big crowd or something, it'd be T20. So it's hard. That's just where it's at the moment. But, you know, it was good to train in all 3 formats and learn different skills for each. So hopefully I can continue getting a bit more skill in each and I guess have good skill sets for all 3 formats eventually, which will be good.
I like the comparison you made between T20 cricket and football. And obviously that was a choice you had to make not very long ago. And I know there was WAFL clubs knocking down your door apparently after your Colts games and your and your league games, and like obviously
Fordy kept coming up to me. Andrew Fordham, the coach, Colts coach, he came up to me after one game and said, I think East Perth and I think West Perth at the Oswan districts were keen on grabbing me and taking me over, and I was like, I just kind of want to win a flag with these guys in Colts. Awesome. I don't know why, but sorry, don't interrupt.
No. Please jump in whenever you want. I thought they were there for me that day, but turns out they weren't. So yeah, has it always been cricket? Is that always been number one? And then footy, just, you know, kicking 6 in a semi-final has been on the side?
Yeah, it was always winter footy, summer cricket. Yeah. And then I don't know, it was literally just cricket happened first. Yeah. So the opportunity came with cricket through a rookie contract and a contract with WA first. Yeah. And I committed to that first. That's what I put it down to. Yeah. And I did obviously do myself many favours by not going to a WAFL club and all that. When the opportunity came, I wanted to just. It was halfway through the Colts season at Collies, and I was freaking loving it. It was just so much fun playing with the lads and winning a flag that year. So I just wanted to keep playing and enjoying it. Absolutely. And then when summer came, switched to cricket. And then that summer the following summer, a year later, was when I got my opportunity, and here we are. So. Yeah, it was no real split decision. It was literally just an opportunity arose with cricket first, so I just went with that.
And you're playing at the highest level. People would say, "Oh, you should big AFL because you'll go to WAFL and then you can get picked up in the AFL." But like cricket, you're playing at the highest level, basically, without playing internationally, and that's that aspect that makes it different to AFL. Is that AFL the domestic game is the highest level, right?
Yeah.
Whereas cricket, you know, you never know.
It's hard if you. If someone asks like, what's the comparison to AFL? I guess what I'm playing is AFL. Yeah. And back in the day when, I don't know, like if we can put it in a footy context, the days of Gaelic, do you remember those days? Like,
the international
rules. Yeah. So the Australian team, based off the best players in the AFL, played Ireland in Gaelic. That's probably Australia team, in cricket, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So I guess you can put a bit of a parallel to that.
And it's just, I mean, obviously, I don't know if crowds are getting smaller or like passion for watching cricket's diminishing a bit in Australia, or maybe it's always just been, you know, like when you see the Optus Stadium and there was all this criticism for Optus Stadium not having that many people at the test match, and that might just be people moving with their shorter attention spans to the shorter versions of the game. And also the fact that was like during a working week so they can get stuffed in Victoria. But like, you think about the world context, like everyone in India loves cricket.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You go to England and you watch, and I think that's the most exciting cricket to watch. I don't necessarily enjoy, well, it's fine to have in the background, but like Australian cricket summer here.
If you'd rather watch the Ashes in Australia or in England, I'd much rather watch it in England. The crowd there is amazing.
Staying up and like just so much more drama because it's closer. 100%. And then in India, when you watch like the World Cup final, when it's just people care so much about it, it's like comparable to football, right? Where it's like religion.
Yep. That's right.
So yeah, I don't know. And the IPL at the moment is just bonkers. Like I don't know what's happened this year. Have they just like shortened the boundaries or just nerfed the bowling? Or
it's just been the biggest run fest I've ever seen.
It's diabolical.
There's no doubt the boundaries, the ground sizes are smaller there, and I mean the pitches there are just I've never seen it more batsmen just literally, no matter the ball, they're just going to try and hit it for 6.
Or the bowler.
Yeah.
Like Cummins and Stark are going for 60 in an innings.
Yeah, it's just, if someone goes for less than 10 and over in a T20 game in the IPL this season, I believe that's pretty good.
That's great.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But that's just where it's going. I think like England came out with that Bazball, and everyone's like, oh, what's this crap? But that seems to have been a new way of cricket these days. Come out, and then there's just no fear anymore. There's no fear of getting out. There's no fear of failure. See how many runs we can put on in a shorter period of time, and then we just defend it, it seems. I don't know. It's just, it seems to be the way things are going. Again, with more T20 games, it just seems to be the new way.
Is it hard to combat that as a bowler? Players that can play 360 basically shots, that if they get hot, you basically can't bowl a ball that they won't be able to hit.
Yeah,
like
absolutely. Yeah. It just puts doubt in your mind. If you put a ball anywhere, it's going over the boundary, no matter what you do. Like you would think a Yorker, right? Like, which is like the fullest ball you can bowl without being a full toss.
Yeah.
That's the hardest ball to hit for 6. But now guys are, literally getting out the way and scooping it over their head for 6,
crazy.
or like reversing it for 6. The advancement in batsman like skills is just continuing to go the next level. But that's why, if as a bowler, if you can find a way to be just a step ahead of the batsman, that's where you get the advantage. If you can somehow premeditate almost what they're going to do based on what field you have, then I guess you can stop it. But it's pretty hard these days, especially with the IPL and all that. So,
or with like change of, I know we're getting into cricket terminology, but like change of pace stuff. Is that like how you combat?
Yeah,
these
change of
batsmen?
pace, change of length, but you just got to execute at the end of the day.
True.
Like you have all these plans, but if you can't
Yeah.
execute them when the moment arises and when it matters most, then it doesn't matter, does it? So
Yeah.
you can do a lot of stuff, but you just got to do it when it matters.
Well, I think with cricket, especially from just someone that casually watches it to someone that plays it, it's a lot more technical than you actually think when it comes to the fielding, as you were saying, the psychological game of what bowls you're going to do and like what games you're going to play to try and predict what they're going to do and get them
100%,
out.
yeah.
So when it comes to the T20 matches and the shorter matches, is it a lot harder to play those games?
Yeah, I think so, because it just happens a lot quicker. So you got to make decisions quicker. You got to execute quicker. I think
A lot higher pressure.
Yeah, basically. But also, the objective of the batting team is to score as many runs as they can within the 20 overs. It's not like Red Bull where you've got a lot more time and there's no real pressure that over to score as many runs as you can. So if they see a gap in the field, they're going to do whatever they can to hit it into that gap. All of a sudden they do it and you go, oh, should we put someone out there? And if you do that, you got to take someone away from somewhere else, and then you got to adjust what you're going to bowl based on that field. So if he sees that, then he sees that fielder that was in that position gone to the position that's just been hit, and now he's going for that new area. He's going to target that gap. So it's just a constantly changing.
So it's like a chess match.
A little bit, yeah. If you can think of it like that, it's just the pieces are always moving. You just got to make sure you can, like you say, a chess. You got to be 2 steps ahead of your opponent. So whether that, that's what you as a bowler, that's your field setting, and then you executing the ball, bowling to that field. And a batsman's obviously trying to basically see what field he has, kind of guess what ball will be best bowled or what likely ball will be bowled based on that field, and then going from there, trying to basically manipulate that ball to get it to where the gaps are and obviously over the boundary. So it's always constantly changing. That's why I think if people understand that side of it, it would be quite interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Obviously, longer format doesn't really happen. That's why I think people are tending away from it a little. There's just not that much interest, obviously, but it's just, the entertainment's not there.
Some purists love it though. Like people go, I can't do it. People can sit on the couch and watch cricket for
100%.
5 days and like love all that.
As a
technical
fan,
aspect.
I love Red Bull cricket the most. That's what I would watch. But from an entertainment, again, it's just T20 and white ball. That's where it's at. So
Well, learning all those tactics and stuff, is it best learnt through experience, or you have to do a lot of film for it, or how do you actually learn that sort of stuff?
Yeah, just training. I mean, there's no real again no special art to it. It's you got to practice it, and hopefully you practice it in training conditions where when you come into a match you can execute them. I again, like the experience with WA, there's so many guys there that have so many different skills, so you're just constantly learning things. But when it comes to that situation, you just fall back on your cues and what works for you. Like AJ Ty bowls the knuckleball really, really well. I can't actually get my fingers into the position needed to bowl a knuckle. I can't do that.
Yeah.
So that's not going to work for me. It might be like a deep in the hand, slower ball, so it comes out, it looks like it's normal, but it comes out really slow and knuckly. It's just, again, whatever works best for you at training, do it in the match, but you're constantly trying to develop your new skills and stuff. So,
well, it's that Mike Tyson quote that everyone has a plan until you get punched in the mouth. So I heard that on the podcast the other day, so I thought I'd use that one. So like, is that what you're saying if you come in, not that you would, but like come in, and I can imagine if you get like come and get hit for 3 sixes and you're like, fuck, I still got 3 balls to bowl in this over. It's going back to your fundamentals and not like going, all right, I'm going to do something silly here to like.
the big one's not panicking. You don't panic.
How do you not panic if you've just been absolutely, I don't know.
The captain plays a big role. There's no doubt. But Sam Whiteman's the captain for the Red Bull and one day sides, and Aaron Hardy was for the Scorchers, and they are some very, very calm, composed people. Whitey especially. I didn't get a lot with Hards at the Scorchers, but they're very calm and collected. And that's as a captain when you're setting the field with the captain, and he's like, right, I'm gonna support what you're gonna bowl here, and you get smashed for a couple sixes or whatever, we're still going to try and back you in on that plan because we still think that's a plan that's going to get him out. So whilst, like you say, you've been kind of knocked out or punched in the jaw a few times, you still think you can get the knockout blow by getting him out. I guess in cricket, I learned quickly you got to almost absorb a few punches to really give one back. Ideally, you throw the first punch though. So if you get them out first, that's great before they take over and score runs. But again, it's just chess, it's constantly back and forward, different movements. One time you're on top and then the batsman's on top and then it's kind of neutral and one shot can change the momentum of the game. It's pretty cool. So
well, that's why I feel like everyone as a kid growing up was like, oh, I love batting more than bowling. But that's what I love about, I always loved, and I only played junior cricket really, but even like when you're playing backyard cricket, you love bowling. I love bowling because you get the opportunity, if you get smacked, you can go and do it again. Whereas batting, you screw up, you're out.
It's great.
I don't know. Yeah, it's
Someone
great.
hoinks you for 6, you bowl the next ball at their head.
Yeah, there you go. You got the opportunity to
Punch them in the mouth.
Knock them out quite literally with a bouncer.
Yeah. So
typical me being so aggressive, passive aggressive.
Is that what you want? Is that the response that you?
I bowled so many bounces this year; it was ridiculous. Like it was literally whenever I came on to bowl, I would have a bouncer field set up.
Oh, really?
So I'd bowl I don't know. You can only bowl 2 above the head, but you can still bowl a lot of short stuff.
You'd be stupid not to at your height to bowl.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you use your assets, and I guess I can bowl a bouncer, and it's harder to play because it's a steeper bounce from my height. So may as well use it. And it got me a lot of wickets like that.
Yeah, great.
A lot of like literally catches at short leg, which was I've never ever seen so many catches off my bowling there. So
yeah,
it was nice.
I'm just thinking, going back to like the plan stuff, and there's one example, and you'd probably like to speak on this. Well, you'd probably be able to speak on this better, but the last Ashes in England, and people might be able to resonate with me, but it was Cam Green bowling to Stokes, and it was just short, and it was constantly short. It had something to do with the pitch or whatever, and it was just short balls, and Stokes was just tonking them. Like we had a lead of whatever, like a comfortable lead, and I think this is where the tactic came from. But he just said, they must have just said to Green, just keep bowling short, doesn't matter what happens, keep bowling short. And everyone, like the not the nuffy, because nuffies would understand, but like the casual punter at home watching it at 12 o'clock in their lounge room is like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Cummins?
Yeah.
And so, so the lead was like 200, so it was comfortable, but like you'd seen Stokes do it before.
Yeah.
The last Ashes. constant. And then at the end of the day, at the end of the innings, he hit one, he mishit it.
And he's out.
So I guess the plan was there. Stokes was in such good form that if you bowl conventionally on that pitch, you weren't going to get him. But you just had to keep doing that and going back. And that'd be so hard as a bowler.
Well, it's probably the same, but they had plans to get him out.
Yeah.
Did it work? Yes, they got him out.
Yeah.
But he also got a few away. And that's kind of part of cricket. We kind of understand that we're going to be aggressive, and sometimes that's going to, give us or not really pay dividends in terms of them getting runs quickly. Yeah. But the goal is to get him out. And did we achieve it? Yes. Maybe he got a few too many. So can we change that plan slightly? But yeah, I mean, to look at it in a footy perspective, maybe you throw someone forward. So you take a backman away to try and kick more goals. So you put someone forward of the ball in your forward 50 to try and kick more goals. Will it work? Yeah, you might be able to kick more goals, but at the same time, you're vulnerable down back. So it's a bit of a, is the goal? You've got a goal, but you're going to have to accept maybe some costs coming with that plan.
Or even just being a backman in footy, like I can never understand sometimes.
Great game.
Where they, because I've always been a forward, right? And I don't know if I'd be able to get around the psychology of being a backman because you get a goal kicked on you, and I would be like, damn, I can't.
Yeah, you got to move on.
Frustrating. You got to move on because otherwise you get another goal kicked on you.
That's life. I mean, that's not just sport. That's life. Shit happens, I guess. Pardon my French.
No, that's
okay. That's what happens in life. You just got to move on to the next day, and the sun will rise and set and rise and set. So, yeah, just got to keep moving on through life's flows. Thank you.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
I know we briefly touched on WACA and being a part of WACA, but I wanted to ask a bit more about what's it like being a full-time job on like a day-to-day basis as a profession.
Yeah.
Because obviously you're very passionate about it and you enjoy it.
Yeah. Basically during the season, it's every day we're doing something. We have it's similar to most sports. You have your main training days, and it's different to footy in which you play every weekend. The fixtures are all over the place. You'll play a one-day game on a Monday, and then a 4-day game starting on Wednesday, and then you'll finish that on a Saturday, and then you might have a week off, and then you have another 4-day game on the next Sunday, and then you finish that, and then a day off, and then a 1-day game. So it's all over the place. Basically, we have main training days, 2 days out basically from a game. And that consists of basically I'm there 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. I get my ankle strapped because that's my front foot strapped as an ankle. So I'm trying to reduce injury and stuff. So strapping, getting warmed up, usually start by 9. And first part of trainings as a collective, as a team, we do a lot of fielding to start and conditioning. So running and throwing, and that probably takes about 30, 40 minutes in total. Then we go to the nets, and that's where we get our skills done. We call it skills, batting and bowling. So for me, as a bowler, we probably start with the best batsman. So our opening batsman bat first, and our best bowlers, myself and the opening bowlers, also for WA, will bowl first. And normally we bowl about 6 overs, depending on our situation. If we need more loads, we bowl more. Once we finish that takes about 40 minutes. We then have a bat, and that's, that can take anywhere from half an hour to 40 minutes. And generally speaking, it's a little slower because things happen and you talk and you reset. So that could take 4 hours, that whole sort of split session. You finish that, and then you refuel, and then you hit the gym and smash that out, get your program done. And by that time, usually it's 4:30, 5 o'clock. So it's a big day, and you're cooked by the end of it. And then you do get a day off between them, which for me is going to uni and studying. So
what are you studying?
So I finished an undergrad in Bachelor of Commerce in Economics, and I'm doing a Master's in Commerce in Economics part-time at the moment. So that's something they encourage. They encourage you. Backup plan. If all goes wrong, touch wood. Few more years, hopefully, in cricket. And then whenever that ends, that's the backup plan and get into work. But yeah, they're big days, but you know, it's a good environment to be in, nonetheless. I mean, as a job, you can't complain. That's for sure. Rather than sitting in front of a computer screen, you're out running around in the sun and doing what you love. So it's pretty good.
Because I was going to ask, I know we talked to one of our previous guests, Lloyd, about it when he was playing for Cardiff Academy, but they ended up getting a set person, careers person, to talk to the players and really support them. And a lot more clubs are doing it now where they're actually looking after the player, especially if they get cut or dropped from the team. And have you noticed that at all? Or?
Yeah, we've got a role at the WACA. His name's Nicky. He's our player PDM, player development manager. And his role is very similar. He's basically, his role is to look after the players in terms of if they have any issues off the field, on the field. He's been massive for me and helping me with my uni if I'm away. And he writes in emails to the unit coordinators on your behalf to say he's away for work, interstate, he can't make it in for an exam, say we need it to be deferred. And because it's coming from him, from the business side, it happens pretty much straight away.
It doesn't work for people when they're like, oh, I am sick, please move exam.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If it's coming from someone else who's basically, you know, employed to do that, you know, it's going to work 9 times out of 10. So we're very lucky around that. And yeah, like you say, we're getting, I believe, a psychologist coming into the WACA full time. So there's no doubt the mental side of sport in general is just becoming so much more important. So it's just becoming a bigger priority in terms of making sure both on and off the field, players are, you know, going okay, etc. In their lives. So there's important roles around that.
Do you do many workshops like off the field and that sort of thing about mental health and those sorts of things?
Yeah. We have a group at the WACA called the Hussey Group. That's for the first and to third year contracted players. So often these are guys, my situation is a bit different because I came in when I was 21, but often kids just finishing, sometimes still in year 12. So they haven't finished school, so they don't really know kind of what's after school and what they should be doing. Obviously now they're getting paid, so what they should do with their money. So, so we got a lot of guys. We get people coming in to chat to us. They have like hour sessions. It's just a range of things from food, diet, mental health, money awareness, sporting habits, all that sort of thing in terms of like mentally. More often than not, it's mental, which is really interesting. Rather than, sure, they'll talk about diet for a bit, which is obviously really important, but they'll come back to it being, if you get your diet right, then mentally you'll be not worrying about that. So, again, a lot of mental stuff, but it's important that we have those sort of things to make sure people are aware, especially if they're young and coming out of school and not really exposed to the real world. They know what to do with, you know, big money, I guess, and what to do with that and not be an idiot with it.
On the physical side of things, would you like to just speak a bit to or around, I guess, the durability of a fast bowler? Because obviously you've been a fast bowler. Obviously, you've gotten faster, I'm sure of it from your junior years. But like,
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you're coming in and you're doing a repetitive motion at like an extreme level of, I'd say.
What's your pace on your balls?
Yeah. What's your fastest delivery, do you think?
I'm in the 130s at the moment.
Yeah.
It's hopefully another pre-season and we get it close to 140. That'd be nice. But if I can learn to swing the ball as well, like Joel Paris or something like that, that'd be nice because he takes wickets for fun, just swinging the new ball around. So I think that's an asset that's somewhat forgotten, just the ability to swing the ball. You might not be the quickest, but if you can swing it, then that's a nice skill. So
130 is still pretty fast.
I'd still tonk you.
Yeah, you probably would. Yeah. I still get tonked. That's the point.
I
don't swing it and I bowl 130 and I get smashed. So
right. So that's the step.
If someone's
like the
on,
top step, really.
Yeah, 140 plus is it's weird. Like 130 for like a batsman, that's fine. But the difference between 130 and 140 is night and day.
You wouldn't think it, hey?
No, that's right. I didn't think it until you face someone who's, 130, and then you got like a Lance Morris coming in and just effortlessly bowls 140 plus. The difference is it's just so visually obvious to see. First of all, you can't keep up with the ball when it's 140. Yeah. So if I'm squared like side on, I remember one game I was side on against Tassie. Lance is bowling 146s. And I basically couldn't keep up with the ball. So all I was looking at no, so I'm not doing that. Yeah. I'm just looking at the batsman watching what he does. Yeah. So there's no point keeping up the ball because he can't. So you just look at the batsman and then he hits it, and then you got to react if a ball's coming towards you. You don't look at the bowler running in with the ball in his hand and try and track the ball the whole way because it's just too quick. You got too many external cues and let alone the ball to focus on. And it's just happening too quickly. So, yeah. Sorry, you were saying something.
Well, no. I just
we kind of got sidetracked about ball speed.
Which is interesting.
Very good.
Really interesting.
We love that. As a fast bowler. That's all we talk about. You bowl wheels.
Is that all you say? You're just like, I've clicked 138 the other day.
Yeah, you just say, I bowl gas. And that's what you guys.
Or is it gas or
like high? Sometimes at trainings we've got the speed gun out.
Oh, speed gun.
And we've got the actual device that shows the speed behind the net as we run into bowls. So when we bowl the ball, it's like basically straight ahead of us. So you kind of get distracted basically.
Yeah, you get pretty competitive.
Yeah, so you try and bowl as fast as you can, and sure enough you're bowling like somewhat like dangerous deliveries on pretty dangerous wickets, sort of practice wickets, trying to bowl as fast as you can. It's not the best thing, but...
So you can get sprayed for that?
Yeah. If you injure someone, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because that's not the purpose, especially 2 days out from a game. You don't want to injure your best batsman. And
True.
Are you speaking from experience?
No.
You'd be very
but
obedient.
it just happens like the amount of times someone gets it one on the fingers or something.
Oh, yeah.
Even though there's padding, like you say, it's just coming. It's a rock hard ball coming at 130. It's going to do some damage if he gets the wrong part. So yeah, that's the way it is.
So on the injury front, like it is, I guess, you're coming in and constantly doing it. I don't want to say unnatural movement, but I mean, I think you're over.
I don't think the body would like it.
Exactly, you're overexerting.
There's no doubt.
The body's, I don't know.
Be tough on all the cartilage and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I don't think
your body's not used
smashing your front leg down on a hard surface concrete is going to do your bones any good.
Yeah. I don't think it would ever be a good. Yeah, but I don't know how do fast bowlers stay, I guess, healthy and fit and you talk about stress fractures just off air before, and I'm sure stress fractures are a massive part of a fast bowler's life and dealing with those and
incredibly common.
Still remaining fast. I
guess. No. I mean, I've gotten 2 stress fractures in my back now, and I'm not the only one. I don't really know many pace bowlers that haven't done some sort of stress-related injury.
Yeah,
because it's just your bones, like your human bones, hate it.
Yeah,
I mean, there's just no doubt. You run in and you smash your foot down, and bend like really awkwardly, and like hyperextend your front leg at times. It's not great for the body. The only way to get better at it is repetition. You just got to do it and do it and do it and do it. And obviously that's the reason we get into the gym, where you try and strengthen important areas, legs, glutes, etc., that absorb a lot of that force. And then the thing that was introduced to me that was massive is the strength in your core is just so important for your back. I didn't really think, but I got explained to me. It was a long chat, but long story short, if you don't have a strong core, your back's doing all the work essentially. Yeah. So there's a lot of, like we say, gym work going into that. Basically, your preparation is in the gym, etc., and your diet, and making sure you really sufficiently fuel yourself to make sure you recover. And then it's just, again, no real simple method, but it's getting out into training. 3-4 times a week, and getting your loads in and making sure you just get it done and don't get injured, I guess. Like any sport. Yeah. You just don't want to get injured, and the more you do it, the more, I guess, body like resistance you get towards that action. But you're going to be sore no matter what.
Is there a lot of tapering before games and like really watching your body? Or
Yeah, we don't do a lot the day before, especially as a bowler. Batsmen will always have a hit just to feel good and whatever. We don't. It's not like we want to go to the nets and bowl 4 overs just to feel good, because it's physically like that would be that's a good training session almost for us on any day. So it's weird. We don't really want to overdo it. We save our work for when we need it in a match situation. If we need to bowl 25 overs in a day, we're not going to do it a lot of overs in training, knowing that we've probably got a long day coming up in a Red Bull game, say, for example, which is probably where you put most of your, like you say, your tapering in, because it is a longer format and you bowl more overs as a bowler. So you just got to be a bit of, again, any sport, but you got to be strategic about how you treat your body and make sure you're just ready to go come day one and you're 100% physically prepared.
Well, that's really interesting where you talked about the core strength really takes a lot of stress off the back.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's just, instead of being slightly slouched over in your run up, if you have a slightly stronger core, you're actually taller in your run up, and then that means you're going to be taller in the final delivery and you bowl the ball. Yeah, it's kind of, I didn't think, like I said, I didn't really think that would be a massive area of focus coming in. I thought it would have been all legs, which it is. There's definitely massive legs focus in terms of gym and stuff, but the core side as well, just making sure like reducing side strains, for example, which seems to be common as well, is just holding in a prone position with a weight on, trying to keep that side engaged without bending from the hips up. So
it'd be nice to have six-pack as well from all the core work.
Yeah, if you can get one.
Yeah, you have a good 6-pack.
Do I? No, I really don't.
No.
It's not a common thing, cricketers with six-packs, is it?
No, because we drink too many beers after the game, so that sort of
6-pack of beers.
That sort of ruins it.
Yeah, but still, I'm sure there's not.
Beer after a 4-day game of cricket is just the
true.
best thing I've ever had in my life.
You'd be so dehydrated as well; it'd hit you like a truck.
It's just the best beer ever. It's so good.
So moving forwards with sort of your career, would the goal to be playing test matches or playing scorches?
Goals to represent Australia. What format that is doesn't matter for me. That's the dream, and like, is it a dream too far? Maybe, but I mean, a dream's a dream. I didn't think I'd play for WA.
Yeah.
So I guess I just got to keep putting my head down and see where things go and keep working hard, and you never know. So yeah, the goal is Australia because that's what you dream of. But there's no, like anyone, I guess you want to kind of go where the entertainment and the money is going, and that seems to be in the white ball format of the games, T20 stuff. So obviously, like, that would be pretty amazing. But I think focusing with WA is where I should be at the moment, and I'm really enjoying that. And it's a great privilege playing for WA. So yeah, continue doing what I do there and continue to win games there, and hopefully we get an opportunity later down the line if it presents itself at the next level, which will be nice.
Well, thanks very much for being here. We really appreciate your time.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. It was good fun.
The way you talked about everything is just so like technical. It shows that you've been around.
I really hope I didn't go over the top there.
No, it's good. It's good.
No, it's good. It's good. I think we'll get a lot of, like, hopefully some cricket nuffies as well enjoying this podcast.
I know a lot of people hate cricket. I feel like I may have made
but
some people hate cricket.
But
now.
in general, I feel like, it was a good chat about other stuff.
Well, thanks very much for your time.
Thanks,
and
boys.
all the best for the future.
Thank you. I
Thanks,
appreciate
Lask.
it. Thanks for coming on.